Hi, I'm Carolyn Rae with the YOGATX, and we're going to be going through a yoga flow for back pain relief today. So follow along. We'll have a couple props that we'll be using. One I'm sitting on. This is the other one. So if you don't have blocks, you can use books or anything that you feel like might work instead. But super great resource to have for some supported yoga postures. So I'm starting sitting on a block today just to lengthen the hips a little bit and relieve a little bit of pressure. You can also sit on a bolster or a pillow if you have something like that. So just tuning in, soften the eyes. Notice where the tension's living in the back. Maybe it's in the low back or shoulders or neck. And as you breathe in, grow a little bit taller through the spine. And as you exhale, soften the shoulders down. Let's do that again, inhaling to grow tall. And exhaling to soften. And take the next couple inhales to roll the shoulders back. If this feels a little bit awkward or tense, just move slow. And then reversing those shoulder rolls coming forward. Just try to keep the neck long here. And if the elbows and hands move a little bit, that's good. Getting it all involved. And just some gentle neck movements here, looking right and left. And coming back to center. Saying yes, being gentle when you move the neck back. And coming back to a neutral spine. And as you inhale, bringing the front body forward. And as you exhale, bringing it back. So softening the shape, it might be easier for you to come off of your block for this one. If you notice that, that's great. If you want to stay on your block, that's okay too. Might find a little more grounding this way. And really reach out as you inhale. You'll find that shape in your back. And then as you exhale, fill that shape. Inhale forward. And exhale, release. Maybe even getting the hands involved here. Moving side to side, in whichever way that feels gentle. Coming back to a seat, giving yourself a hug. So elbows are on top of each other. And gently move left ear to left shoulder. And right ear to right shoulder. And come back up to center. And release. Find some free movement here in the arms. We'll be coming forward now through to a tabletop pose. So we want the hips to be directly over the knees and the shoulders to be directly over the wrists here. And you can have the toes tucked or untucked. I prefer to have mine untucked because then I can really ground down and push through the tops of my feet here. So as you inhale, it's the same as our seated cat-cow, but we have a little bit more grounding now. We're gonna drop the belly, inhale the heart, flex the tailbone up towards the sky. And then as you exhale, creating that nice curve. Drop the chin. Inhale, roll through. And exhale, cat pose. You can always make animal noises here if that's fun for you. But just coming back into your breath. And sending the hips back. Bringing the knees as close as you'd like here. If there's some low back pain, just being mindful of that. And if you do have a block today to practice with, you can bring that in front of you. Gently bring the forehead down. Find that sweet spot. 2 breaths here. Let that exhale come all the way down the spine. Inhale, slowly coming up. And we can move this up to the top of the mat. And we're going to come through our tabletop position, tuck our toes behind us, and find a downward facing dog. You can keep the knees as soft as you need to. Just try to relax the neck. And the shoulders want to roll down the back. So if it feels a little bit too square, try to push the shoulders back towards the hips a little bit more. And this might take some practice, so maybe try inhaling forward, exhaling back. Your body will start saying, okay, I know what you're saying. And bringing your feet to meet the hands, finding forward fold here. Relax the neck, keep the knees soft. Maybe grabbing for opposite elbows here. You can bend in the left knee and bring both hands to the outside of the right foot. Keep that neck relaxed. And slowly walking back to center. Maybe you find a nice bend here. Again, this is really great for the low back. So maybe even putting the hands on the low back here, finding some tapping. And if you're having a hard time with this reach, you can always bring your hands to a block to the outside of that left foot. Bending the right knee a little bit here. And coming back to center. Inhale halfway to lift and lengthen. And exhale as you fold forward. And inhale, rolling up the spine. The pelvis drops here. Start engaging the core. Heart comes forward, shoulders roll back. And we're going to do the opposite, rolling down. So let the head drop. And just relax, hanging down, slow, 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 slow. And again, just like that, rolling up. If you need to widen your feet a little bit to feel a little bit more secure, again, 2 fists is probably about the length of your hips, so that might feel better for you here. And continue rolling up. And once you reach the top, really stand in that power for a moment. And exhale, drop the head. Sinking back down, you can soften these whenever you're ready. And planting the palms into the earth, send the left foot behind you. Finding a lunge here, and gently lowering the left knee. If you have a blanket, or if you want to double your yoga mat over for sensitive knees, you're welcome to do that. Find those blocks for support here as you inhale up for Anjayasana. And hands can come either to the top of your right thigh or to blocks. And opening up the hips a little bit here, keeping the right knee over the right ankle and at 90 degrees. And let the heart come forward. So maybe you want to play with the blocks here if you have them. Whatever feels right for you. Mine changes every day. Knowing that everything in our front body is related to our back body. So hip pain can create a lot of tension in the low back. So we want to keep our hips happy. Send the right hip back. And we want to lengthen through the right leg. Flexing the toes here. If this is difficult for you, you can bend that knee as much as you need to. Use these blocks to really support yourself here. Take a breath in through the nose. Exhale, soften. Inhale through the nose. Really ground down in that left top of the foot. Exhale, send that right hip back. Maybe go a little deeper if that feels okay. Inhale, coming halfway. You can move both blocks to the outside of the right foot here. And you're going to feel your IT band. So take a breath in and out. And as you hear more, you're really going to start to feel it. So show it some love. Soften that knee as much as you need to. One more big breath, sending it through. And exhale out. And moving our blocks with us, or hands, coming back to center. And we can set those down for now. Reground in through the palms. Lift up that left knee and send the right foot back, finding plank pose. And then coming into child's pose. And again, for any really bad low back tension, you can keep the knees together here. If you'd like to bring forehead to block, that's an option. Notice how this might feel a little bit easier, smoother now than our first child's pose. Really letting the heart sink lower. Take a big inhale through the nose. Exhale. And slowly start coming up from your child's pose. We're gonna meet in downward facing dog. So taking your time. Also, a modification for downward facing dog is puppy pose. Bringing the forehead to the mat here, if that feels better for you. Or you can always stay in tabletop as well. If you'd like to push your hips back, find that downward facing. Take a couple breaths in here. Again, sending those shoulders towards the hips, letting the hips stay high to the sky. Energetically pushing ourselves back, spread the fingers wide. Separate the back teeth as you exhale. And slowly walking to the top of the mat. Forward fold here. Inhale, rolling up. Soft knees. Let the tailbone drop. And line the spine on top. Finding Tadasana pose. Palms facing out. Feel all four corners of both feet. Lift the quads. And drop the tailbone or tuck the tailbone. And really find that grounding in both feet. Ground down, especially in your left foot. And then gently lift up the right. Just a little levitation here. And you can twist open to that right leg. Standing Shiva pose. If it feels good, you're not feeling wobbly, you can bring your knee all the way up to the hips level. You can be straight. Yogi's choice. One more breath. And coming back to Tadasana. Find a couple shoulder rolls here. Let that heart come forward. Big, beautiful heart of yours. And levitate that left foot up. Twist towards the leg. Fingers wide. Again, you can play with what feels good here as far as length of that leg. This is a nice mild twist for the back. Coming back to Tadasana, inhale both arms up high. Exhale, soften all the way down, forward fold. Relax the head. Exhale out, relax the head, maybe gently shaking it out. Keeping the knees as soft as you need to here. And then preparing for our other side, bringing our right leg back, maybe gently lowering. And we can start to find our half split. Flexing the toes towards the face. Keeping that knee as soft as we need to. Inhale the heart forward. Exhale it out. And taking another breath in here. And sinking down as much as it feels good. So really listening to the body here and then moving the blocks to the outside of the left leg. Feeling that IT band stretch. Very possible that this feels different on your left side as opposed to your right side. So be very gentle on yourself here. Use these blocks if you have them for extra support. Breathe in. Exhale out. And then coming forward, finding that lunge, really grounding down in the right top of the foot. Inhale the arms up. Nice long spine here, and the pelvis is parallel to the earth, so make sure that we're not tilting that pelvis out too much here. So arms can be lifted. They can also be on top of the left leg or on blocks. Let that right hip drop a little bit more. Keeping that left knee over the left ankle. It's always good to smile or make yourself laugh when you're doing hip openers, so just gonna throw that out there. And inhaling back. You can set the blocks aside. Find palms here to the earth. And we're gonna take a puppy pose, so slowly coming out center. And the arms can be as wide as you like, whatever feels best, or maybe you want them right in front to keep that alignment. Yogi's choice. Connect to the earth here, breathing in. Exhale. Maybe letting the elbows rest down to the earth. And then inhaling as you come up. Making your way onto a seat. And slowly rolling down the back here. And we're going into a pose called legs up the wall, which is probably my favorite yoga pose of all time. And it's very simple. If you have a wall, I would use it. But for this instance, I'm just going to show without the wall. I'm just going to bring your legs up. And if you do have a wall, you don't have to bring your bottom all the way up to the wall, just wherever feels comfortable. So it might be further away. You can keep the knees as soft as you want. This totally relaxing, detoxing pose. It's great for lower back pain. It's great for cramps in your legs or your feet. If you have any trauma, this fresh blood flow coming this way rushes it all away. It's an amazing pose. So let's take a few breaths here, rolling the shoulders back, opening up the heart. I'm just trying to stay balanced in both hips here. As you inhale, maybe extend. If you don't have a wall, you can always bring your hands here for some extra support. I also recommend maybe bringing a blanket underneath the sacrum for a little padding. You could put a blanket on top of you, make it really restorative and relaxing. And bringing the knees into the chest. Stretching out that low back again. And then really imprinting the entire spine on the mat here. Finding some back and forth horizontal movements. And finding a happy baby, so bringing the legs up and out, grabbing for the outsides of your feet. This is a great pose for just opening up the hips and releasing some back tension. So really breathe in as you're grounding through. And as you exhale, just soften into that grounding. You can be playful baby here, maybe straightening one leg or the other. You can rock around a little bit. And it's also nice to just really imagine your spine as a stamp, stamping each vertebrae down on the mat. Then tracking the knees as you pull in. Gently bringing toes and heels together and finding Baddha Konasana in front or butterfly pose. Letting the hips open, the knees rest. Just breathe. And gently bringing one leg out at a time. Maybe shaking the hips out gently. Rolling the shoulders back, finding a nice flat neck on the mat as well. Taking a few breaths here for your shavasana. Just such an important pose because you're really allowing your body to process everything that you just did. So even if you only have time for 4 or 5 breaths, or if it's 4 or 5 minutes, really, really enjoy and embrace this time. And just letting the breath flow naturally now. Completely surrender. And start to find some small, subtle movements. Maybe moving the fingers or toes. We always just want to be really gentle on the body after we find this sort of stillness. Maybe finding a full body stretch above head. And you can make your way onto your side, or you can roll up back to a seat. And whatever you do, just try to find that you're using as little effort and energy here as possible. Coming back up to that seated, easy seat. Hands are in front of heart. Take the biggest breath yet in through the nose. And exhale out the mouth. I hope that your back pain is feeling better. And just remember that you can always do a quick legs up the wall or any of these easy stretches to find some relief. And yogis, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. With all my love, namaste. Carolyn Rae here again with YOGATX. You can check out our website, yogatx.org, if you enjoyed this flow. We also have a newsletter that you can subscribe to stay in the flow of everything going on. Pun intended. If you enjoyed this flow, you can also follow me on Facebook, Carolyn Rae, R-A-E, or on Instagram, care_Lynn Rae Yoga. And I look forward to connecting with you again. Thank you.